Here's a case of some figure practice that got out of hand and turned into a full illustration. I have a folder where I will toss any image that seems like it might be even remotely useful as reference. Sometimes I'll go back through that, grab a big handful, smash them together and pick my favorites. In this case, two characters from vastly different stories, but they struck me as perfect for the shipwright and his wife Nama. As encouragement to the artists in the audience, when you're just using your reference material as loose inspiration and you're willing to ignore a lot of it, just about anything can be reference material. So keep your eyes peeled. In this image, the shipwright is burdened with the thoughts of what's coming and what still needs to be done. Nama offers her encouragement. In the actual story, scenes like this would likely be told as flashbacks. I see this being a moment before the shipwright sets out on his mission. This really was originally going to be figure practice, but I made the mistake of drawing perspective lines in there. I realized it wouldn't really take a lot to just finish this off, so I added some simple background elements and finished with some efficient lighting. Once again, thankfully, I wasn't working blind. Many videos ago, I explored the shipwright's house. I didn't go into a lot of depth on it, but it helped me to at least establish something of a visual language. Having done that work made doing something simple like this even easier. I have the outline for the next episode pretty much figured out, so next week I'm going to start on that while I work on these illustrations. But for this week, my focus will still be entirely on the illustration series. For this next one, I wanted a shot of our old friend Jubal Cain. I discuss his design in detail in his own video further back in this series, so if you're interested, go check that one out. But at a high level, he was the creator of musical instruments. With centuries of experience and practice, his talents bordered on the magical and drew the attention of the watchers. In his pursuit of more skill and power, he made some dark deals with them. Now his music can be used to shape the minds of men, to sway and influence, and if necessary, to kill. Here he's preparing to play, accompanied by one of his acolytes. She'll be using a string instrument, but to be in proximity to the music they're going to play, she wears heavy ear protection. Without that protection, she would be in danger of Jubal's fate, losing his hearing, and requiring painful, advanced, yet primitive enhancements. In this image, a man has been caught out in the open as a small procession of giant Nephilim walk by. There's no telling what they might do to someone, even at the best of times. For this series, I will be inventing things, but it's also a great opportunity to put some old ideas to use. What we can see of the Giants' outfits are based on some very early designs from the Dead God series. And for the man in hiding, I used one of the designs from one of the earlier fashion videos. While this plays out, a quick word to people who might be new to this project. My current goal is to create a series of graphic novels, released in books, until eventually I have enough to call it done. Where it goes after that, who knows? This is a massive project, and I've realized I could use some help. So eventually, I would like to bring on some talented people who can help in whatever capacity. If you like where this is going and you'd like to help me get there, click all the usual YouTube buttons, toss a comment in, and if you can't think of anything to say, tell me what prehistoric creature you would love to see make an appearance. If you'd like to help out even more, you could follow me on Patreon. Sabretooth and Dragon patrons get access to a private server, which has grown significantly. I'm happy to report that I'm collecting quite an impressive crew. We have indie game devs, illustrators, 3D modelers, writers. I know we also have a paleontologist and an entomologist, which is just really cool. They get early access to everything, but better than that, we've been having a lot of fun talking about story, sharing projects, finding awesome reference material, and also just goofing around. There's a faction in this world that I'm interested in exploring a lot more. They'll have their moment for a deep dive, but I keep finding opportunities to hint at them. They don't have an official name yet, but for now I'm calling them the Geometry Cult. Many gods and tyrants and groups are attempting to find ways to control their corner of creation. For the Geometry Cult, they believe that if they can unlock the secrets of math and geometry, that they'll be able to reveal the control levers of creation itself. So they seek mathematical perfection, and they tattoo themselves with their sacred markings. This has also made them very useful in the wider world. If you want something from a palace to a temple built well, you come to them for the design. From floor plans to decorations, they will help to make sure that every square inch is packed with meaning and power. As a symbol of their knowledge, but also for practical purposes, many of them tattoo themselves with their sacred measurements, meaning they are the tape measure. In this scenario, this group is normally content to seek out the mysteries on paper and stone, but as so often happens, pursuit of more power requires more than just ink. In some of their darker rituals, acolytes can volunteer to embody the geometry in a more meaningful way. As a side note, with images like this, I may be setting a bad example. I'm a bit flippant. The most I really plan out is at the thumbnail stage, but at that point, it's like throwing myself off a cliff and hoping to find a landing spot. Pay attention at the end here. I have everything drawn up. I know what composition I'd like, but I don't do much planning around the values of the final image. I really do find it on the canvas. It's very much trusting the process. Now, it seems to be working out, which is great. It might also be working against me, but it means that there's a point where I am balancing a lot, making lots of adjustments. Now, I also enjoy that process a lot. I've referred to it as balancing stones. You never quite know you've got it until the stones stay standing. I'll repeat myself on this. I know it's balanced when the hierarchy of the image comes through, when the most important thing is the most visible and we go through secondary, tertiary. What this usually means is that a lot of the detail that I put into things gets obscured. The foreground characters end up in a lot of shadow, and unless people are willing to spend a lot of time looking, they'll miss a lot of the details that I poured a lot of time into. But honestly, that's a trade-off I'm happy to make. I would way rather have those details hidden there for the finding and enjoy the process of fighting to finish the image than to plan everything out meticulously from the start. The wrestling is part of the fun for me. But there we have it, 3 more images, plus an extra one that I wasn't expecting, added to the pile. Next week I'll be laying the groundwork for episode 4 and continuing with some more speculative Dead Gods images. Thanks for watching.